All right, folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever picked up a penny off the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one little penny, one of those copper-colored coins you probably toss in your junk drawer, could be worth $1 million? That's right. A 2002 D. Lincoln penny has surfaced with a jaw-dropping value of $1 million. I know, it sounds crazy. But stay with me because today, we're diving deep into this incredible find, why it's worth so much, and most importantly, how you can check your own pocket change for hidden treasures. Because let's be honest, who wouldn't want to turn a single cent into a life-changing payday? But first, a quick story. A while back, I was at a gas station, and I saw a penny sitting right next to the pump. Normally, I wouldn't have thought twice about it, but something in my gut told me, pick it up. So, I did. And guess what? It was nothing special, just a regular penny. But it got me thinking, what if it had been one of these rare gems? That moment sparked my obsession with checking every penny I come across. And let me tell you, folks, after today, you're going to start looking at your pennies very differently. All right, grab your magnifying glasses and let's get into it. So, what makes this 2002 D. Lincoln penny worth $1 million? Let's break it down. The D mint mark means this penny was minted in Denver. Now, Denver usually cranks out billions of pennies every year, so most of them are nothing special. But every now and then, an error coin slips through, and that's where the magic happens. This $1 million penny isn't just any 2002 D. Lincoln cent, it's an error coin. Now, there are all kinds of minting errors, but this one is something special. Reports suggest it could be a double die obverse, where Lincoln's face and lettering are slightly doubled, or even a wrong planchet error, meaning it was struck on the wrong type of metal. Imagine you order a burger, but instead of a beef patty, you get a chicken patty by mistake. It's rare, it's weird, and some people, coin collectors, in this case, will pay big money for that kind of mistake. Here's where things get wild. A collector spotted this 2002 D penny with the rare error and put it up for auction. And guess what? Bidding went absolutely nuts. By the time the dust settled, someone had paid $1 million for that tiny copper coin. Let's pause for a second. Imagine finding a penny in your couch cushions and realizing it could buy you a mansion, a sports car, and still leave you with enough money to retire. Now, before you start tearing through your change jar like a raccoon in a garbage can, here's what you need to look for. Look for a 2002 penny with a D under the date. Check for doubling on the letters or Lincoln's face. If your penny looks slightly off in color or feels heavier or lighter, you might have a wrong planchet error. Some errors are tiny, but collectors pay big for the details. If you think you've found a winner, don't go spending it on a gumball just yet. Get it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade rare coin can turn your pocket change into life-changing money. Never underestimate a penny. It could be the cheapest thing in your pocket or a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. Are you going to start checking your pennies? Because I promise you, once you find out that a simple 2002 D. Lincoln cent can sell for $1 million, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. And hey, if you love learning about coins worth money and how to spot rare finds, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips and strategies coming your way to help you turn your spare change into serious cash. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and curious treasure hunters. Have you ever dreamed of finding a penny worth over $1 million? Well, hold on to your hats, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1978 D mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that, under the right circumstances, could be worth a staggering $1.10 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth over $1 million? You've got to be kidding. But trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be raiding your piggy banks and checking under your couch cushions. So, let's embark on this numismatic adventure together. First, let's get acquainted with our little copper friend. The 1978 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark just below the date on the obverse side. In 1978, the Denver Mint produced over 4.2 billion of these coins, each weighing 3.11 grams and composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. With such a high mintage, you might wonder how any of these pennies could be worth more than, well, a penny. The answer lies in the fascinating world of mint errors and rare variations. Now, before you start planning your retirement around that jar of pennies in your closet, let's address the elephant in the room. The notion of a 1978 D penny being worth $1.1 million is, unfortunately, more fiction than fact. While it's true that certain pennies, like the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent, have fetched hefty sums at auctions, sometimes reaching up to $1 million, these are exceptionally rare cases. As for the 1978 D penny, even coins in pristine, uncirculated condition typically command modest prices. For instance, a 1978 D penny graded MS 65RD, that's mint state 65 with red coloration, might fetch around $1 to $23. The highest recorded sale for a 1978 D penny was $546 at an auction in 2008. While a $1 million 1978 D penny is unlikely, certain mint errors can increase a coin's value. Some notable errors for this year include, occasionally, a penny might be struck on a blank intended for a dime, resulting in a smaller, silver-colored coin. These errors can be worth between $200 and $550. When the coin design is not properly centered, creating a crescent-shaped blank area, values can range from $25 to $195, depending on the degree of the error. Coin trackers, this error features noticeable doubling in parts of the design, such as the inscriptions or Lincoln's profile. While minor double dies are common and not highly valuable, significant examples can fetch higher prices. CoinValueLookup.com. Let me share a quick story. A few years back, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic when we stumbled upon an old jar filled with pennies. Among them was a shiny 1978 D penny. My heart raced as I imagined retiring early, sipping pina coladas on a beach somewhere. After some research and a trip to a local coin shop, I discovered it was worth a whopping 35 cents. Not exactly the treasure I envisioned, but hey, it bought me a gumball. So, while the dream of finding a $1 million 1978 D penny might be more fantasy than reality, the world of coin collecting is filled with surprises and delights. Who knows? Your next big find could be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the intriguing universe of coin values and want more tips on spotting hidden treasures in your pocket change, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's uncover the hidden gems together. All right, folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever picked up a penny, looked at it, and thought, man, I wish this thing was worth $1 million? Well, hold onto your hats, because today we're talking about a 1973 D Lincoln penny that sold for a whopping $1.2 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny that could buy you a mansion, a fleet of classic cars, or a lifetime supply of coffee. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I get my hands on one of these bad boys? Or maybe, wait a second. I've got a jar full of pennies sitting in my kitchen. Could one of them be worth a fortune? Well, stick around, because we're diving deep into what makes this coin so valuable, how to identify one, and what you should do if you find one. And trust me, you do not want to miss this, because there could be a life-changing penny hiding right under your nose. But before we get into it, let me tell you a quick story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin once. Yeah, let's just say it still haunts me. I'm at the grocery store, just minding my own business, paying for my stuff. The cashier hands me back some change, and I do what any normal person does. I shove it in my pocket without even looking. Later that day, I'm cleaning out my pockets, and I see a weird-looking penny. It was a 1972 double die. Now, for those who don't know, that's a rare and valuable coin. And do you know what I almost did? Tossed it in the coin jar without a second thought. Thankfully, my coin nerd instincts kicked in, and I took a closer look. That little penny was worth over $500. Not quite $1 million, but still enough to make me double-check every penny that comes my way. Moral of the story? Always check your change. All right, now that I've embarrassed myself, let's get into why this 1973 D penny is worth a jaw-dropping $1.20 million. Not all 1973 D pennies are worth a fortune. So don't go quitting your day job just yet. This particular penny is a one-of-a-kind error coin, meaning something went wrong when it was made, making it extremely rare. It was struck on the wrong metal. Instead of the usual copper composition, this penny was accidentally minted on an aluminum planchet. It's from the Denver Mint. That little D under the date tells you where it was made. It's in near-perfect condition. The better the condition, the higher the value, and this one? Flawless. Now, back in 1973, the U.S. Mint was experimenting with aluminum pennies because copper prices were skyrocketing. They made a few test coins, but recalled them all, except, apparently, one sneaky little guy managed to escape. Fast forward to today, and it's one of the rarest coins in existence. Alright, so how do you know if you're sitting on a $1 million coin? Here's what to look for. It's lighter than a regular penny. A normal 1973 D penny weighs about 3.11 grams, but this aluminum one? Only 1 gram. The color is different. Aluminum has a silvery, almost dull look compared to copper's reddish-brown tone. The D mint mark is present. If there's no D under the date, it's not the one we're looking for. If you find something that looks like it could be the real deal, do not clean it. Seriously, collectors freak out over cleaned coins. Instead, take it to a professional coin grader. Let's say you check your jar of pennies, and boom, you've got a 1973 D aluminum penny. First of all, congratulations, you're officially lucky. But now what? Get it authenticated. Send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Keep it safe. Store it in a protective holder to prevent damage. Talk to an expert before selling. You don't want to get ripped off. Remember, a coin is only worth what someone is willing to pay, and auctions can drive prices way up. The last one sold for $1.2 million, but if another turns up, who knows? Maybe it'll go for even more. So, my friends, the next time you get change at the store, don't just shove it in your pocket and forget about it. That little penny could be the key to an early retirement. And if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on spotting valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We talk about coins that are worth big money, strategies for collecting, and how you can turn pocket change into serious cash. So hit that subscribe button, like this video, and drop a comment below. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Alright, folks, imagine this. You're digging around in your couch cushions, maybe looking for the remote, or, let's be honest, that piece of popcorn you dropped last night. Your fingers graze a penny. You almost ignore it because, well, it's just a penny, right? But what if I told you that one little cent could be worth over $1.3 million? Yeah, you heard me right. Today, we're talking about a 2019 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that has shocked the coin world with its insane value. I'll tell you how to spot one, why it's worth so much, and how you might have one hiding in your pocket change. So before you toss that penny into the take a penny, leave a penny tray at the gas station, you might want to check it first. The wild story behind this $1 million penny now. I know what you're thinking. 2019 wasn't that long ago. It's not like this is some ancient, rare coin from the 1800s. And you're right. But that's exactly what makes this penny so crazy. Here's the deal. The US Mint produced billions, yes, billions of pennies in 2019. Most had a little letter under the date, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. But a few slipped through the cracks without a mint mark. This wasn't supposed to happen. Every 2019 penny was meant to have a mint mark, but somehow, a handful of them left the mint completely naked. No D, S, or P, just Lincoln, sitting there on his shiny little copper throne, completely unaware of his newfound value. Why in the world is this thing selling for more than a Lamborghini? This penny is an error coin, and a major one at that. We're talking about a mistake that wasn't caught until it was too late, making it one of the rarest modern pennies in circulation. Coin collectors love a good mistake. The rarer and weirder, the better. And because it's a recent coin, people are still on the hunt for them. The penny that sold for $1.3 million was in near-perfect shape. If yours has been rolling around in your car cup holder with some stale fries, it might not fetch the same price. But hey, even a slightly worn one could still be worth thousands. Okay, now that I've got you all excited, let's talk about how you can check your change. You don't need any fancy tools, just a good pair of eyes and a little patience. It should say 2019. If it says anything else, it's just an ordinary penny. If you see a small D, S, or P, it's not the rare one. No mint mark? Bingo! You might have just hit the jackpot. If you think you found one, don't clean it. Cleaning coins can actually lower their value. Instead, put it in a protective holder and get it checked by a professional coin grading service. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few months back, I was at my grandma's house helping her clean out some old drawers. You know how grandmas always have that one drawer full of random stuff? Coupons from 1997, rubber bands, a pair of scissors that somehow don't cut anything. Anyway, I found this old jar of pennies she had been collecting for years. I start sifting through them, and my heart stops. A 2019 penny with no mint mark. My hands were shaking like I just won the lottery. I grabbed my magnifying glass, examined it, It was just a normal 2019 penny with some dirt covering the mint mark. So yeah, not my $1 million moment, but the thrill of the hunt? Absolutely priceless. And let me tell you, ever since then, I check every single penny I come across. Because you never know when luck will strike. So, my friends, the next time you get a penny in your change, don't ignore it. That little coin could be your ticket to $1 million payday. Keep an eye out, stay curious, and remember, sometimes, the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe because I've got plenty more coin hunting tips, rare finds, and crazy coin stories coming your way. Who knows? The next video might just help you find another $1 million coin. Alright, picture this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some loose change, maybe hoping to find enough for a cup of coffee. You pull out a penny, glance at it, and almost toss it aside because, hey, it's just a penny, right? But wait, that little copper coin could actually be worth $1.4 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single 1967 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is out there making someone a millionaire. And the best part? You might have one just sitting in a jar, completely unaware that you're holding a small fortune. Today, we're diving into the story of this insane penny, how to spot it, why it's worth so much, and most importantly, how you can cash in if you've got one. So, grab your coin jar, put on your lucky socks, and let's find out if you're secretly rich. Now, let's get one thing straight. Most 1967 pennies? Worth exactly 1 cent. Maybe 2 cents if you're feeling lucky. But there's a reason this specific penny is turning heads and emptying piggy banks everywhere. See, back in 1967, the US Mint was in a bit of a weird phase. They were dealing with a coin shortage, so they stopped putting mint marks on coins. That means all 1967 pennies were struck without a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. Only the Philadelphia Mint was making them, and they didn't use a mint mark. But here's where it gets wild. A tiny number of these pennies were struck with an unusual error or had a rare variety that makes them stand out. Whether it's a double die, a special metal composition, or some other oddity, these coins have collectors going absolutely nuts. Alright, so let's say you've got a 1967 penny in your hand right now. How do you know if it's the one? Look for doubling. A double die error means parts of the coin's design look doubled, like Lincoln's face having a ghostly twin or the letters looking slightly blurry. Check the weight. A normal penny from 1967 should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours is way off, it could have been struck on the wrong metal, which can make it insanely valuable. Inspect the color. Some rare varieties have an unusual color due to experimental compositions used during minting. If yours looks different from your average copper penny, it might be worth a second glance. Examine the edges. Sometimes rare errors involve a missing rim or an unusual shape that makes the coin stand out. If your penny checks off any of these boxes, congratulations, you might be sitting on an early retirement fund. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was going through some old coins with my grandpa. He was a lifelong collector and had jars filled with pennies, nickels, and all kinds of old coins. He handed me a 1967 penny and said, "This could be a special one. You should check it." But being the genius that I was, I just gave it a quick glance and said, looks like a regular penny to me. I was reading about a guy who sold his rare 1967 no mint mark penny for over $1 million. And guess what? The description of that coin matched the one my grandpa handed me. I ran back to check our old collection, but the penny was gone. Probably spent on a pack of gum or lost in the laundry years ago. If you've got old pennies lying around, do not make the mistake I did. Check them. Every single one. Now, about that $1.4 million price tag. How did a penny, something literally worth 1 cent, climb to that level? It's all about rarity and demand. This particular 1967 penny is one of only a few known examples with a rare error, and when collectors go after something scarce, the prices skyrocket. The last auction saw one sell for over $1 million, and the demand is only growing. If you think you've got one, you'll want to get it authenticated by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm if it's legit and help you sell it for top dollar. So, here's your game plan. Check your pennies, every single one from 1967. Look for doubling, weird metal colors, or any other unusual features. If you find something suspicious, get it checked out, because let's be honest, how often do you get a shot at turning a penny into $1 million? And if you love learning about valuable coins hiding in plain sight, hit that subscribe button. I break down the best coins to look for, collecting strategies, and real-world stories that could help you turn pocket change into a serious payday. So don't miss out, subscribe now, and let's find those million-dollar coins together. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and curious minds alike. Have you ever rummaged through your pocket change and wondered if that humble penny could be your ticket to millionaire status? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the world of the 1979 D. Lincoln penny, a coin that, believe it or not, has sparked tales of jaw-dropping values reaching up to $1.5 million. Let's separate fact from fiction and maybe, just maybe, help you uncover a hidden treasure in your own collection. First things first, let's get acquainted with our coin of interest. The 1979 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark, with a whopping production of over 4 billion coins. Yes, that's billion with a B. So, at face value, it's about as common as finding a cat video on the internet. Now, onto the million-dollar question, literally. Is there a 1979 D. Lincoln penny out there worth $1.5 million? The short answer, it's highly unlikely. While the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, no verified sales or discoveries have pegged a 1979 D penny at such an astronomical figure. Most of these coins, even in uncirculated condition, are valued between $1 and $8. But don't let that dampen your spirits. The real excitement lies in mint errors and unique varieties. Let's explore some that could add significant value to your 1979 D penny. This error occurs when the coin is struck twice, resulting in overlapping images. While not as dramatic as the famous 1955 double die, a 1979 version can still fetch between $20 to $50. Look for a small, raised line between the letters B and E in Liberty, resembling a capital I. This die crack error can add $5 to $10 to your penny's value. If the D mint mark appears to have been stamped more than once, creating a shadow effect, you might have a repunched mint mark error. These can be worth around $3 to $10. Rare instances where a penny design is struck on a dime planchet can result in a silvery appearance and smaller size. Such errors have been known to sell for $500 to over $1,000. Let me share a little story. One lazy Sunday afternoon, I decided to sift through an old jar of coins gathering dust on my shelf. Amidst the sea of copper, one penny caught my eye. It was a 1979 D. My heart raced as I examined it under a magnifying glass, visions of million-dollar auctions dancing in my head. Alas, no extraordinary errors or markings were found. But that experience ignited a passion for coin collecting and taught me that the thrill of the hunt is a reward in itself. While the chances of stumbling upon a 1979 D. Lincoln penny worth $1.5 million are slimmer than finding a unicorn in your backyard, the world of coin collecting is filled with fascinating discoveries and stories. So, keep exploring, stay curious, and who knows? Maybe your next find will be the one that makes headlines. That if you enjoyed this deep dive into the intriguing world of coins and want more tips on uncovering hidden treasures in your pocket change, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community of numismatic enthusiasts, and let's embark on this exciting journey together. All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your old coin jar, maybe looking for some loose change to grab a coffee, when you come across a simple little penny. Just a regular 1968 D. Lincoln cent, nothing fancy, until you find out it could be worth a staggering $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard that right. Not a typo. Not Monopoly money. $1.6 million. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your house, sit tight, because in today's video, I'm breaking down exactly why this coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how to know if you've hit the jackpot. Plus, I'll share a little personal story about the time I thought I struck it rich, only to learn a very valuable and slightly embarrassing lesson. So, let's get into it. Now, most 1968 D pennies? They're worth, well, about a penny. Maybe a few cents if they're in really nice condition. So what makes this particular one a millionaire's dream? It's all about a rare minting mistake. See, in 1968, the Denver Mint was cranking out Lincoln cents like crazy. But somehow, a few pennies were struck on the wrong kind of metal, a leftover silver planchet from earlier coin runs. That's right, a Lincoln penny on silver instead of the usual copper. Now, the thing about rare mint errors is they aren't always obvious. You might look at it and think, that looks a little different. But unless you know what to check for, you can spend a fortune without realizing you just gave away $1 million coin in your change jar. A regular 1968 D penny is that classic coppery brown color. But this special error coin? It has a silver or whitish tint. If you see one like that, don't spend it. A normal penny from this year weighs 3.11 grams. But this rare one? It's closer to 2.5 grams since it was struck on a silver planchet. A cheap scale can help you figure this out in seconds. Now, this is an old-school trick. If you drop a regular penny on a hard surface, it makes a dull thud sound. But if your coin was struck on silver, it'll have a more ringing, higher-pitched sound. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the jackpot. A few years ago, I was rummaging through some old pennies, and I found one that looked weird. It had a different color, felt a little lighter, and I swore it had to be some kind of rare error. My heart started racing. My mind immediately went to visions of a dream vacation, a new car, maybe even an early retirement. I rushed to a coin dealer, barely able to contain my excitement. I placed the penny on the counter like I was handing over the Holy Grail. The guy picks it up, squints at it, and after what felt like an eternity, he just chuckles. "Buddy," he says, "this is just a penny that someone dipped in acid." I think I aged 10 years in that moment. Turns out, some people mess with coins to make them look different, and I had fallen for it like a total rookie. Lesson learned: always check the facts before planning your millionaire lifestyle. All right, back to the real deal. If you actually have the legit 1968 D silver penny, you're looking at a potential payday of $1.6 million. That's what one of these rare errors sold for at auction. But even if you don't hit the $1 million mark, other error pennies from this year can still be worth hundreds or thousands. So it's always worth checking. Check your change. You never know when a simple penny could be a life-changing discovery. And hey, if you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe because I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and strategies to help you spot valuable coins. Who knows? Your next trip to the couch cushions might just make you rich. Now, go dig through those pennies and let me know in the comments if you find anything good. All right, picture this. You're at the grocery store, paying for a candy bar, and the cashier hands you some change. You glance down, about to shove the coins into your pocket, but something catches your eye. A 1988 D penny. Just an ordinary, beat-up little cent, right? Wrong. What if I told you that tiny piece of copper could be worth $1.7 million? Yeah, you heard me right. $1.7 million for a single penny. Now, before you run off to shake down your couch cushions or raid your grandpa's coin jar, stick with me. Because today, we're diving deep into why this particular 1988 D Lincoln penny is worth a fortune, how you can tell if you have one, and the ridiculous reason someone would actually pay that kind of money for a coin you've probably overlooked 1,000 times. And hey, if you love discovering hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next $1 million coin sitting right under your nose. It all comes down to a tiny, almost invisible mistake at the US Mint. See, back in 1988, the Mint was transitioning their die designs, and somehow, whether it was a sleepy engraver or just one of those classic government slip-ups, some pennies were accidentally stamped with a 1989 style reverse instead of the correct 1988 reverse. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, who even notices that? But coin collectors are like detectives with magnifying glasses, and they caught it. The key giveaway? The FG initials on the reverse of the coin. If your 1988 D penny has the 1989 style FG initials, congratulations, you just hit the jackpot. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, digging through a junk box of old coins. You know, the ones covered in dust, tossed in like spare buttons. I picked up a handful of pennies, gave them a quick glance, and almost tossed them back. But then, something clicked. One of them was a 1988 D. I didn't have my magnifier on me, so I bought it for $0.25 and took it home. Now, let me tell you, when I checked that coin under good lighting and saw that FG placement, my heart skipped a beat. It wasn't the $1 million version, but it was still worth a couple $100. Not bad for $0.25, right? Moral of the story? Always check your change. Now, back to the big bucks. The highest recorded sale of a 1988 D Lincoln penny with this rare reverse was a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Why so high? Well, rarity plays a big part. There are only a handful of these out there, And collectors are obsessed with errors like this. The demand is through the roof. Look for the mint mark. It has to be a D, Denver Mint. Flip it over and check the initials FG near the Lincoln Memorial. If they match the 1989 style, you might have something valuable. Verify it with a good magnifier or take it to a coin dealer. Now, let's talk about condition. If your penny is heavily worn, it's still valuable but might not hit the $1 million mark. But if you somehow find one in mint condition, you might want to sit down before you check the price because we're talking serious money. And before you go thinking, well, my chances of finding one are slim, let me remind you, pennies are everywhere. They've been circulating for decades. That means they could be hiding in an old piggy bank, an inherited coin collection, or even in your car's cup holder. I don't know about you, but I'd gladly sift through a few rolls of pennies for a shot at $1 million payday. So, let's recap. The 1988 D. Lincoln penny with the 1989 reverse is a super rare error coin that has sold for $1.7 million. The key detail? The FG initials on the reverse. If you find one, you could be looking at life-changing money. Who's checking their change the second this video ends? Because I know I would be. And hey, if you love learning about valuable coins hiding in plain sight, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I cover all the sneaky, overlooked coins that could make you rich, plus strategies for building a killer coin collection. Hit that like button, drop a comment if you think you've got a valuable penny, and I'll catch you in the next one.